Hi, I'm Jen Gallacher. Welcome to another Diary of a Memory Keeper vlog. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes as we prepare for a national crafting trade show. Now currently I work for Echo Park Paper and Carta Bella Paper, and we are in the throes of preparing for the SPC show, which will be held in Salt Lake City in July of 2016. Now my job at Echo Park Paper and Carta Bella Paper is called the marketing coordinator, and what that means is that I coordinate all the marketing and education for both companies. Now the details of that job include lots of different things, but for the trade show I get to do a few different things. One of my favorite things is that I get to help go over some of the products that they're considering producing for the rest of 2016. Now Echo Park has worked very hard to produce some beautiful new collections, and I'm very excited about them. Now I didn't design these collections. We simply meet together and we discuss what we'd like to prepare and produce, what we think about the designs that our designers are submitting, and we tweak and discuss and sometimes even argue about what we think will make the very best product for our customers. So it's fun to see what is coming down the pipeline. Now for me personally, I'm a user of these crafting supplies. I do scrapbook, paper craft, and make cards. So for me, sometimes my opinion comes from that user base. And I talk about things like scale, or I want a certain title, and sometimes they can tweak things so that those of us that use the products can maybe get a little bit better use out of them. And sometimes our designers come up with something that's just so amazing that we just run with it and are always excited about the results. So first we kind of talk about product design. From there we move into different things in terms of production and things like that. And my job doesn't come back into the picture until we actually start editing the final collection. Now I have a little bit of a background in grammar and English, and so one of my other jobs at Echo Park is to edit for proofreading and spelling errors and things like that. So I go through everything, the stickers, the papers, the ephemera, packaging, everything, and I look for spelling errors or maybe grammatical errors, or even tweak things that maybe don't make sense. Now, unfortunately, sometimes I do miss things, but because there's so many eyes that are looking at this particular product and collection, we usually catch everything before it goes to press. So there's always a little bit of stress and pressure that maybe I missed something. So that would be my next job. From there, I help facilitate creating the projects that we are actually going to showcase either at the show or in our marketing pieces. Now, this isn't always the job of a marketing coordinator. However, because I have been crafting for so long and I'm local, I get the proofs that we print off at our local printer and I get to create with them. So for this particular release, we have more products than we've ever released before, and I have been fervently working on creating different projects with some of those new products coming down the pipeline. Without giving too much away, I can say that we do have traditional holiday seasons coming out, including fall and autumn, Halloween and Christmas, and then some really amazing products that are not seasonal based but are theme based. So it takes typically for me to create a project start to finish about 4 hours. It can be longer if it's more involved, and it can be longer if it's like a scrapbooking layout. Once I create a project, I then go about photographing the project. Again, not every marketing coordinator has this particular position, but because I have a photo studio right here, and you can see some of my props in the background, sometimes I do photograph our products and projects for our catalogs. So I have been busy working on those particular photos, and they take a lot of hours. You have to try and get everything in focus. You have to focus on the most stunning parts of the collection. Sometimes there's something in a collection like a sticker or an element that really defines the actual theme of the collection. And so my job is to kind of make that shine and make it kind of come out in our marketing. After I take those photos, I then send it off to our designers, who then create the marketing graphics. That could be a banner, that could be an email, and that could be a catalog. While they are working on that, the next part of my job is that I write the text for all of our catalogs, as well as our online descriptions. So I get to spend a little bit of time looking at the entire collection and thinking about how I can introduce it to our customers and consumers. So sometimes I will try and point out certain elements that maybe it's an eclectic collection or it's a vintage collection, or I might kind of talk about the season that we're in. And so if you have ever read any of our EcoPark catalogs or looked at our product descriptions, the more lengthy ones, I am the one that writes that. It's been fun to talk with some of the designers because they always are interested to see what my take on their collection was. And sometimes I do ask them what they were thinking when they made a collection, but sometimes I come with fresh eyes and just create new journaling. After we've created the journaling and the catalogs, I then go through and then proof one more time. There's a lot of proofing processes that go into getting a product ready for production and ready for the show. So what comes next for preparing for a trade show? Well, the people at my office are hard at work preparing for a booth setup, and that takes hours, hundreds of hours, and lots of manpower to both design the best layout for the booth, determine what products and how to showcase them, and then to set up the booth. Sometimes I'll go to a show a little bit early and I will help with setup. But there is a particular person, Andrea, at work who does most of the booth design and most of the setup, and she's a genius when she comes to things like this. Once we get the show advertised and set up, it's time for the show. Now, if you've looked on my blog or you've looked on our EcoPark social media, you'll see some of the photos that take place when we're actually at the event. What happens at these crafting events? Typically, these are for the buyers. The buyers will come into the booth where we introduce them to our brand new product line. We walk them through some of the new products that go with the collection. We introduce them to the theme of the collection, and then we allow them some time to shop. Some take a catalog with them and then come back later and actually make their purchases, while others know exactly what they want and start ordering there. Once all of those things have been done, it's time for takedown. I think EcoPark has one of the fastest takedown records that I have ever seen. We get that booth taken down so quickly, and then we move on to the next thing. What's interesting is that while we're in the midst of preparing for our trade show, getting all the items ready to sell, printing things, we are already discussing products for 2017. It never really stops in the crafting industry. You're always thinking about what's coming next. So now I wanted to ask you if you have any questions about what it takes to get ready for a craft show, or what I've done at a craft show, or maybe some trends that I'm seeing as we prepare to go to the craft show. If you have any questions like this, put them in the comments section below, and I will go through and answer as many of them as I can. If you get the opportunity to attend a craft show, I suggest you do so. Typically, these are buyers kind of events, so you may not be able to attend them without a special pass. However, there are consumer shows in which you get to see some of the products as well, and EcoPark and Carta Bella have attended several of these. Check to see what your local events have in store for you, and then visit these events. Again, if you have any questions about what it takes to prepare for a crafting event, be sure to leave me a comment below. Take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of my vlogging videos. If you're looking for crafting inspiration, hop on over to jengallacher.com, where I offer classes, printables, craft ideas, and more. Thank you for joining me today.